Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced. And this game is from 1962 with all the craziness happening in the chess world with Esports World Cup. It's always important to visit your roots. So this game is from 1962 with the white pieces. We have Mark E. Taimanov. You must know him from the Taimanov variation of the Sicilian. And with the black pieces, he needs no introduction. He is former world champion Mikhail Tal, the magician himself. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Hey, Taimanov starts with knight to f3, goes for the ready opening. We have knight to f6, d4, c5, going for the speedman attack, and we have this c4, c captures, knight captures, and just e6. Going for the Horwitz defense, and we have e3, knight to c6, bishop to e2, and just e5. And here we have castles, bishop to d6, but just b3, and we have castles for black as well. We have c captures, knight captures, and here queen captures on d4. We have queen to c7, just very nicely eyeing that pawn, and that pawn could be grabbed if not defended. But here, actually not going for defending it, but here just trying to go for mate here. But here, Tal just happily accepts. He's like, "You're giving me a pawn. Thank you very much. I'm going to take it." That comes with a check. So king moves, and here just rook to d8. Now the thing is, that's not a good move because you can trap it. And here, after queen comes in, now you have to understand that you always have a way to be able to defend it with the queen. So you don't have that perpetual trying to just draw the game right away. So it's going to be a little bit difficult. But here, for some reason, Taimanov doesn't go for it. He goes for rook to c1, trying to attack the queen. But now here, just queen to b8, just still going for that, because if that comes, you need to be able to capture it and recapture that, at least get two pieces, at least get like three pawns for the pieces. That would be more like it. So here, queen to h4, trying to attack that, but now just bishop to e5. And here, asking for a trade of bishops. And here, Taimanov doesn't oblige. He goes for knight to c3, and we have this e captures, but now just f4. And here, Taimanov lost a lot of its advantage. He could have trapped it. He did not. He chose to go for a different way. Let's see how Tal now deals with that, or Tal how punishes him, because here he goes for bishop captures on c3. Bishop captures, but now just queen to d6. Might seem like a bad move because here this bishop is very strong. You don't want to trade a knight for the dark squared bishop that was countering it. But here the engine doesn't react, so I think it's just fine. It doesn't matter. So here just bishop to e5, attacking both the queen and the knight, and we have just queen to e6. We have rook to c5, just infiltrating very nicely. So from the opening to the middle game, you can see that white is the one who's pushing for something in this position, and here he has that rook in black's camp. So how is Tal going to develop all those pieces and here get the rook into the game? Tal first goes bishop to d7. He doesn't go the fiend getaway, and we have this rook caps on b7. Just Tal gives up a pawn temporarily to get some development in the game. And here just knight to e4, getting that knight to a very nice centralized square. If the queen sometimes moves and there is a rook, then that could get a little bit ugly. So here just rook to c1, just trying not to going for that and getting that fork. So here just g5. Just a beautiful, beautiful countering move, because it seems like you're just getting a free pawn. You can just capture it, but it's not that simple. But at least not for now, because you have to understand that that bishop would hang, and you cannot capture it from the queen because the knight is defending it. So here just queen back to h2, but now here just rook ac8, and it seems like Tal has just so many dark square weaknesses. Queen can just jump in the future, and now for now that square is protected, so queen can jump in the future and deliver some deadly blows. But Tal says it's fine, so I guess it's fine. So here rook to f1, not trying to immediately go and trade the rooks, because that would create an open file which will be available for the dark rook to attack. So here rook to c2, and this is what happens when you're attacking Tal. If you're attacking Tal, then just go all the way, attack, 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 and win. Because if you stand in the middle of the game after attacking him and not go for the attack and suddenly try to play defense, when he attacks, he's gonna find all the right moves, because he goes for here, and here bishop to d3 was played. And now it might seem like, if I trade this, then somewhere along the line your king is very weak, and you're just losing out of protection pieces that can protect your queen, that can protect your king. So here just rook to f2, a very beautiful move by Tal, because now if you capture, this capture comes with a check, and if you capture here, I just capture your rook. So here rook to e1, but now just come queen to g4, and now it's looking like the positions has reverted. First you get the rook into the game and try and attack with the bishop, and you have very beautiful queen here as well. But now I have three pieces in your camp, and what are you doing here? We have bishop captures on e4 first, trying to eliminate one of the attackers. We have d captures, but now just f captures, just grabbing a free pawn. and Tal goes for bishop to c8. A very beautiful move because you want to reroute the bishop to try and get it in the future on this diagonal. And we have this rook to c7, but now just going for this bishop to e6 because you cannot go for a bishop to a6 in this position for right now. And we have rook to g1, but just rook to d1. And this is a very beautiful move. If you trade, in the future, this is looking very deadly. So here, not trading, but just moving the rook back. And here, after rook captures, you play rook to d2, and most likely it's going to be a draw. And this is the best way to play this position. But here, after rook a to c8, we go for rook b to c7, and this just loses a lot of the advantage. And you give Tal he needs just a little bit in the position, and he can convert it to a win. And here, just rook captures, and just goes for queen to b6. A very beautiful move where this is coming, and here you have to defend it. So here, just not defending it, but there is actually no way to defend it because you have to understand that if you have to understand that first there is pressure on your rook, your bishop is guarding it, this pawn is under attack. How are you going to defend it? You cannot play this because the knight is covering it, and if you go back with the bishop, then your rook hangs, so there is nothing in this position. So he goes for rook captures on c7 because if the queen gets in the position, it could be terrible. So he goes for rook captures, sacrifices the exchange, hoping to get something in this position. And after rook captures, he thought maybe with this bishop and these dark squares he might be able to do something. But now comes this bishop to d4, attacking the queen to c6. But now here, you're getting in this way, and now what are you going to do? Because here, just bishop to f1, queen to c1, and now king to g1. And here in this position, queen to e1 was played, but now this is looking very dangerous, and you're gonna have to defend against it. And you might think, why can't I just go there and try and mate him? Because, well, your king is in the stuck in the middle of very deadly attack, and you cannot just do that. Queen to h6, still going for it because, well, he is Taimanov. And here, just f6, just closing off this very nice diagonal. And here, just queen to h3, trying to attack the rook, but just now rook to e7. We have queen to c8 check, king moves, we have queen to c2 check, and here just pushing g4. And here asking for a queen trade, queen to h4, not going for it, and also going for this. So here, just g3, but now this comes queen captures on g3, and we have queen to g2, queen captures on g2, king captures, and here just going for rook to c7. You can understand that he gave away the exchange hoping to get some counterplay, and instead he got an endgame, which is just exchange down, all the pawns down, and he has nothing in this endgame. Even with the bishop pair, you cannot do anything in this position, and this is just a matter of few more moves. Here, bishop to d3, h5. In this position, you could go for bishop back, try just keep all of these closed so that the rook cannot come into the game, but then you get h4. And here, after f5, now you get h3. And here, after king moves, not pushing it directly, but going for king knight here. And once king goes to g3, trying to gobble up these pawns, you play knight to f4, because now if you capture, this pawn push comes and the game is pretty much over. So here, bishop to f1, trying against that, because now if you capture it and now this pushes, this comes, so you're defending the h1 square, and that's why. But now it comes rook to c2, and what are you doing? Because bishop to a3, trying to not lose a bishop, you play knight to h4. And but now the thing is, bishop caps on h3 is forced, because if this comes, this is protected, by the way. And here you cannot play this here, and you cannot even go pawn grabbing. So what can you do in this position? If you capture the knight, then simply pawn push and you're losing, and I'm getting the queen into the game. So here, just bishop caps on h3, g captures, but now here king caps on h3. And here it would be completely losing. You're gonna have to move you're gonna have to go piece down. After going exchange down, it's just over. So he tried b4, but now just h4, b5, we have h3, king to h2, g3, even, I mean, not even waiting for it. So here, just king captures was played, but it was also on this move, Mark Taimanov resigned the game, and we got this spectacular victory in just 41 moves. Tal showing his magic. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll be coming back with such amazing games from the past and from the recent games, so stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you all.